This evening is part of our study of John Maxwell's book, The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. We're already up to law number 7. For those who are following along, law number 7 is the law of respect. And John Maxwell spends various pages, I'm guessing at least 3 pages, talking about Harriet Tubman. And the first few pages, he doesn't even use her name. He just talks about this uneducated woman who was serving people, etc., sort of telling the story. And all of a sudden we find out that this woman was actually this great leader that we've heard about, whose name we know today as Harriet Tubman. Did you know that Harriet Tubman in the 1850s and 60s, she made 19 trips in the Underground Railroad? We understand what the Underground Railroad is, to get people out of slavery in the South up to freedom in the North. We had all sorts of freed blacks and Quakers and anti-slavery sympathizers who helped to get us out of there. And we took big risks. If you were part of the Underground Railroad, that was a big risk because there were a lot of people who would not have treated you kindly if they discovered that you were doing that. So she got more than 300 people out of slavery into the North, which is more than any other person in U.S. history. So she got more people out of slavery than anyone else in U.S. history. John Maxwell asks, he essentially makes the statement, she was such an unlikely leader. When you think of leaders, you don't think of Harriet Tubman. So, here she was, this uneducated African-American woman in a culture that didn't value the gifts of uneducated African-American women. Most of them were slaves. So how did she, General Tubman they called her, how did she lead these people? It seems because of the respect that she had from these people. I mean, imagine the respect that you'd have for a person. If someone tried to risk his or her life to get you and so many other people to safety, that takes courage. You've got to respect a person like that. The story is told that she made a promise to her people. She said, every one of us is going to get to safety, and she did that. She didn't lose a single person in all those trips in the Underground Railroad. She didn't lose a single person, but the story is told that when people were getting tired and said, I can't go on anymore, that she once put a gun to a man's head and said, you will go on, or you'll be dead here because I'm not leaving anyone behind who will be tortured and who will risk telling other people about what it is that we're doing here. Every one of us is getting through. John Maxwell says, when people respect you as a leader, they follow you. He talked about how as the people naturally align themselves and follow leaders stronger than themselves. Do you remember chapter 1 we talked about the law of the lid? On a scale of 1 to 10, what is your leadership level? So a 10 on the leadership level, if you're a 10, you're not going to follow a 2, right? So he talks about how as we naturally align ourselves sort of in that direction, we all look for leaders who are stronger than ourselves to follow. He uses, in the book, he uses an example, he shows different arrows and their leadership number, what they would rate themselves as a leader, and shows essentially how it is that the highest one starts sort of like this thing happens where everyone is going their own direction, but then what happens is we start aligning and going in the direction of the strongest leader in the group. In any situation, think of your family. Who's the strongest leader in certain situations? And what they say or what they're thinking about a certain issue sort of brings everyone else along in that direction. Right? In your workplace, who are the strong influencers there? Right? Because once they start going in a certain direction, what you do is you start seeing other people going in that direction. You know what happens when you see someone else suggesting you go in another direction, especially when they're suggesting it in a strong way? So we have this conflict building, and we're going to see in a moment who's the bigger leader, who's the stronger influencer, the stronger leader. He says, when 2 strong leaders are placed in the same group, either they pull together in the same direction, or what's fascinating is that this tension starts to erupt, because suddenly, imagine a group our size, Father Jamie's saying one thing, and Andy's saying one thing and going in another direction. Yikes, that places this whole group in the situation of having to decide, okay, what are we going to do here, right? Last week's second reading from the first letter to the Corinthians, St. Paul was talking about, wait a minute, that's what he was seeing in Corinth. Some of the Corinthians were going with Apollos, and some of them were going with Peter, and some of them, they were going in different directions. And here's like Paul is saying, wait a minute, no, we're being pulled apart here. He says, occasionally a stronger leader may choose to follow a weaker leader. Think about this one for a moment. But a stronger leader is going to follow a weaker leader only for a time and only in certain situations. If you're a 10 You're not going to follow a 2 unless, of course, that 2 is your boss. Follow me? Have any of us been in situations like that? Where the leader of the organization, you're like thinking, this is where my leadership is and this is where that person's leadership is. Okay, then you're not going to be following that person for long or for any much longer than you have to. We will, for instance, so long as we're getting paid to do it. Here in the church, what's so unique is that churches are large volunteer endeavors. So if we were to think Father Jamie is just a doofus, Father Jamie is a doofus. I mean, it would not be, people would not be sitting around this table, you follow me? Because we'd be like, there's no reason for us to follow him. You know what? There are doofuses in other churches. So, John Maxwell, in all of this, he's simply saying, the law of respect simply suggests that we tend to naturally follow people who are more skilled and or gifted than ourselves. We all do this naturally. As human beings, we all look for we all lead in certain situations, and we all look and follow others in other situations. He used the example of Michael Jordan, since Andy likes sports analogies. We're going to use a basketball analogy. Michael Jordan, he said, I will only play for one coach. Great basketball player, he'll only play for one coach. Phil Jackson. That's it, right? He says, I'm not going to play for other coaches. There are so many other coaches out there who are doofuses. I'm just not going to do it. I'm not worth my time. Phil Jackson or nothing. Ways leaders gain respect. Now John Maxwell talks about 6 things that we might think about in terms of our own, how do we build our own respectability? How do we get other people to respect us more such that we might find them and follow them? He talks about 1, we'll gain respect if we have natural leadership ability. Natural meaning sometimes we think that people are born leaders. Well, of course all leaders are born, that we all come out of our mother's womb, but no one is born a leader, right? We all grow in their skills, and some people just seem more natural, some people are more advanced than others. So if you're more advanced in your leadership ability, if you seem to be a natural when it comes to leadership, then you probably have an advantage when it comes to gaining people's respect. Number 2, if you respect other people, they'll probably respect you in turn. Think about various leaders in various situations. Think about various bosses that you've had in the past. Some of them were probably more respectful than others, right? How did that influence your own wanting to be with that person? Those who respect us less, and I've been in those situations too before, right? How much really do we want to be with other people? The more a leader respects others, the more they'll respect the leader. Courage. I imagine that's why people respected Harriet Tubman. She was putting her life on the line to get people to safety. And so John Maxwell says, leaders do what's right despite the risk of failure, in the face of criticism, under the brunt of relentless criticism. I have a feeling that one of those words is wrong, but we'll read the book and find that out. Essentially saying, a leader's going to do what's right, regardless. Here at Holy Family, I just admire the courage of those people who come to Holy Family, especially those whose family members or friends or co-workers are like, oh, you go to that so-and-so church? That takes courage. Follow me? We just have to acknowledge the courage that we have. The Harriet Tubmans around the table where we're really leading. It's not just following other people and doing things because we're afraid of what other people are going to say or do. No, it takes a bit of courage to do what we do in independent Catholicism. He says all great leaders have courage, and courage has value. It gives followers hope, right? Do you prefer to follow a leader who's courageous and out there, or someone who is like weak and cowering and is, there's something about courageous people that, there's something that attracts us all the courageous people. Success. How do we get the respect of others? When we're successful, when we succeed in doing certain things, then success draws success, right? When people have seen the success of this church, they're like, oh, well, they've obviously come quite some ways. They're rocking here, That people tend to be drawn to success, which is why there's so many people who love watching the shows on television about like celebrities' lives, seeing the lives of the rich and the famous and how they live, or rock stars or sports teams, etc. It's sort of like us living through the successes of other people. People respect others' accomplishments. It's hard to argue with a good track record. So the more successes we have as individuals or as a parish, the more that does to gain people's respect. Loyalty. This is an interesting one because he knows how it is that here, most people are going to go through 9 or 10 jobs. Young people growing up today, they don't have a lot of jobs during their lifetime. I don't know about y'all, when I was a kid, it was sort of like you had one job and you did that for 30 or 40 years. That's not the case with a lot of young people anymore. So loyalty, what does all this mean in this new culture where loyalty isn't valued quite so much? It just seems that the loyalty here, the more loyalty that a leader shows for his or her people and for the organization, the more people are going to respect that. And finally, the value added to other people. You want to get the respect of other people? Find some way to add value to those people's lives. He suggests that perhaps that's the greatest source of respect from people is the value that you add to other people. The time and the talent that you share with other people. Empowering other people. Listening to other people. Being with other people. That earns us respect. John Maxwell says, do you want to know if someone is a respected leader? If that person is a respected leader, people will step up when they ask for commitment or especially change. Change is difficult. We're all set in our ways. We all have certain ways that we like to do things. And so a leader who can come in and help us to go from where we are to where we could be, that tells us something about how people respect them. They respect that person enough that they're willing to change with that person. Some questions for reflection. John Maxwell ends the workbook that he has that accompanies this book with some questions. Essentially asking us, in what circumstances have you followed a weaker leader than yourself? Think about that for a moment. At work or in whatever situation, right? Sometimes if you're a certain number in terms of leadership and they're a certain number in terms of leadership, if you ever find yourself following them for a time or for a reason, right? Maybe because of the paycheck. Or maybe because of the title, right? Because of the title that person has. That's a tough one, right? In whatever organization, right? We come into a parish or something and they put this person in this position as pastor or deacon or whatever. And it's sort of like, right? We initially give them the benefit of the doubt and eventually they have to prove themselves or otherwise. Think of various groups you belong to. Who leads each group in different situations? How much do you respect that person? How does your respect differ among various leaders? Do you respect certain leaders in certain situations, in certain groups, different than other leaders? It seems that there are different, we have different attitudes towards different leaders in our lives. What could we do to increase the respect of those with whom we interact most often? Go back up to number 3, those 6 traits that lead to respect. Rank yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 on each of those. And then figure out, okay, which one are you lowest then? How could you improve it? Finally, if you're really feeling courageous, John Maxwell says, ask the people closest to you. During dinner tomorrow night, ask, what do you respect most about me? Oh, how's that for a deep question? What do you respect most about me? And in what areas might I grow?